Warning. The following content may contain flashing lights, violence, and other elements that may not be suitable for some audiences. Accordingly, viewers' discretion is advised.
Yeah. You tell them how I came from the stars. The blood in me will probably cause a war. I'm trying to be the best in all things. You can feel it in my core. We give it all and yet they still wanting more. Breathe. I will never back down, never gave up. Times get rough. You gon' see we got them high beams in us. Breathe. Magic in the air, never disappear. The family all that matter when the vision wasn't clear. Breathe. Through my primal spirit, we've been howling at the moons. I know you hear it. Go through it, it's all worth it when the fear lift. We want to be the Vic in every battle. The path will rattle. My only question is the pain worth the castle, you decide. Cause right now it's only you and I. When the storm comes, it overwhelms. Just promise you gon' keep all of your energies and maintain the synergy. Eventually, you'll be king of realms. Breathe.
A millennium ago, the grand celestial Maelstrom Abros fought the Dragon Emperor, a minstrel Lori, in a battle that would shape the history of all realms. The end result being a vast land overflowing with magic and power. These enchanting lands of wonder stopped being so magical when the magic started to be weaponized. Over the time of weaponization of this raw power created in hierarchy that would participate the society of many races and creatures. Power, politics divided the lands into different countries and realms. Whoever obtains the most power in the realm can be a king, but whoever has the power above that has the potential to become the king of realms. Our story begins in the elven kingdom of Nuthana, the #1 kingdom in all of the realms, home to the high elves themselves, so granted and greeted with their own power, they only associate with their own kind. Until now, as something shrouded in fire swooshes above the elven kingdom, we begin to descend and catch the attention of the elven folk below.
Father, look in the sky. It's a falling star.
Towards the outskirts of the kingdom, a loud boom could be heard.
What is this?
The dust and dirt enveloped the
Is that a
area.
person?
Citizens of the town began to gather in confusion while many others fled their homes after hearing the crash.
I can't see through the thick smoke.
As two elven guard members approach with attempts to secure the area and its people, one puts up a barrier around the crash while the other attempts to control the crowd.
Everyone please stand back. By order of the king, this area will now be sealed off. Please return to your homes.
Elsewhere in the city of the elves, tension began to rise.
What is this nonsense that you speak?
Apologies, my king, but we aren't quite sure what's going on. But we do have the area evacuated and sealed off with the protective barrier spell. Our lead researcher is at the crash site as we speak. Now we await your further orders, my lord.
Very well. Assemble my royal guard. They will handle things from here, unlike you insignificant fools. Ah, there you are. You've been assembled to investigate what's going on towards the end of town with this crash. If a threat befalls my kingdom, I want it eliminated. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Back at the crash site, Henriel approaches the two guards.
General Armiel, sir. Everyone has been cleared out and the barrier has been put in place. The head researcher is inside. She'll have more information for you.
Very well. You may clear out. I will handle things from here.
With a wave of his hand, Armiel opens the magic barrier and walks through.
What's the situation?
Oh, Amiel, you're here. Lord Elwyn must be extremely serious if he's sending his best soldier.
Of course he sends his best. You know our king, and he doesn't care for surprises. But I digress. What's going on here?
To be quite honest, I have no idea what we're dealing with. It has the characteristics of a human, but has a magical power that rivals your own. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this.
Thanks, Evanora. That will be all. I assume this will be kept between us. The king will be informed of all your developments. You may take your leave.
As Evanor departs, Armriel contacts the king.
My lord, I cannot tell the truth, but I cannot present him with falsehood either.
So, Armriel, does a threat befall my kingdom?
No, sire. No need for concern. We're not under attack. It seems to be just a child that's fallen from the sky. There were no traces of magical protection. It's astonishing that the child was able to survive. My king, this is a strange situation, but maybe we could use the—
You dare insult my intellect? This thing's fate was decided the moment it touched my kingdom's soil. Let me remind you, Armriel, you weren't able to save your own family. Do you really want to attempt to save an insignificant child with your heroics? The gall.
My lord, this is true, but please, do you truly expect me to kill an innocent child?
You must have misheard me. I didn't ask you what you wanted, nor did I ask you your stance on the matter. Your orders are to dispose of it immediately, or you can both be handled personally. Do I make myself clear, Armriel?
Yes, sir.
Armriel tries to deal with his frustration, while just outside the barrier, his subordinates are contacted by the king.
See to it that Armriel finishes his task. If not, then finish him. Disobedience will no longer be tolerated.
Understood, my lord.
Back in the dome.
That's it. No vows, not even my family name is worth desecrating my morals. His tyranny will not end here, and I will no longer be a part of this.
Let's get you wrapped up. Looks to be about the same age as my son before. Never mind that. Seems as though everyone else has cleared out. Despite the king's orders, I will not kill you. It goes against who I am. We don't have much time. We must be quick. Hopefully this doesn't affect the teleportation too bad.
But just as Armriel attempts to leave...
And what do you think you're doing?
Armriel, sickened by their interference, responds.
Do you have no sense of right and wrong? Can you really just blindly follow orders like prideless guard dogs and just kill an innocent child? I truly pity you fools. That's it. I've had enough of our people and their selfish ways. That will be our undoing. But the time for talk is over. Brand me a traitor, I will not allow any harm to come to this child, and that is final.
Well then, you've made your choice. Now die!
In a split second, Armriel was attacked by both of the brothers, and trying to defend himself while still protecting the child.
This should keep him safe while I deal with these two.
As Cormoris finally closes the distance and winds back both his blades, Armriel notices this, but still trying to finish the protective spell and draw his weapon. But with great speed, Armriel just manages to unsheath his blade and clash with Cormoris. The ground around them begin to shake as the power of the elven warriors will begin to show. After getting their footing from the shifting of the ground, blade to blade the two begin to talk.
My blade will enjoy as it cuts your flesh to ribbons. Die!
He's stronger than I thought. I can't allow this to drag out any longer.
Armriel raised his hand and let out a single word, Gaza. And in a flash, bright light and force consumed Cormoris, knocking him back. As Cormoris gets pushed away, Armriel attempts to gather his breath after the powerful spell, leaving himself open.
He's wide open. Nails my chance.
Magic begins to swirl and gather. Kelvan's magic forms in the form of a magical serpent-like dragon.
Slifer's tongue!
Ensnared by Kelvan's magic and extreme pain, Armriel tries thinking of a way out of the attack.
He managed to catch me. If I don't figure out a way to get out of this, I'll die.
Finally gaining a slight moment of concentration, Armriel figures a way out.
Use my aura. Well done. But now it's my turn. You've just lost this fight.
After finally catching his balance, Armiel wraps his aura around himself, yanking the whip, pulling Kelvon in.
I almost feel sorry for you, but this ends now!
Kelvon, still baffled that his ultimate technique was just brushed, gets yanked by his own weapon towards Armiel.
How can this be?
As Kelvon lifts into the air, Armiel, fed up with his fight, begins to cast a powerful enchantment.
Like the last flame of a dying sun, your life is now over!
I flame burns bright.
Burst more nova!
Powerful magical flames envelop Kelvon. Cormoris springs back into battle and runs to save his brother, completely forgetting about his opponent. Armiel catches Cormoris off guard and breaks 8 of his ribs with a kick he couldn't see coming.
You allowed your emotions to cloud your mind, and now you've lost.
Armiel looks down in pity as he prepares for his escape before word can reach back to the ears of the king.
This is nothing.
What a waste.
If you're enjoying, don't forget to follow us through the realm at youtube.com/King of Realms, Instagram.com/King of Realms, Patreon.com/Renegade Realms, Twitter.com/Renegade Realms, and don't forget TikTok.com/Kairos Morinova for some funny King of Realms clips. Thanks for watching King of Realms, and now back to the video.
After finally getting a second to breathe and gather what he could from the fallen, Armiel casts a spell,
Bravos.
and thus departs from his home, he and his family protected for centuries, never to return. Whilst back at the castle, the guards fill in the king.
Your Majesty, we've just discovered 2 fallen guard members at the crash. One is barely alive. We have reason to believe Armiel has committed treason. He is nowhere to be found. He was also with Cormoris and Kelvon last. Furthermore, he was last seen fleeing through a portal with something in his arms, along with a few stolen supplies.
Armiel will regret this decision. Not a word of what has transpired here leaves this room. Armiel will be too smart to hunt down. Take all the normal procedures of catching a criminal, but I will not let this hinder my plans. We will continue to prioritize our ongoing objectives.
Coming out of the portal. As the drained elven warrior falls to his knees as due to his adrenaline finally beginning to settle and the pain beginning to become relevant again, he thinks to himself,
I think I may have overexerted my magic back there. I need to find somewhere safe for us to rest.
Armiel then spots an entrance to a cave up in the mountains.
Well, how convenient.
After the climb and securing the cave, Armiel lies the boy down and sits down inside the cave, begins dozing off.
Seems to be safe enough, so we'll do for now. I'll do more recon later.
A few hours later, the young boy finally begins to rise. The young boy wandering away farther into the cave, confused as to what's going on. As the young boy wandered, something familiar began beckoning him. The young boy stood in awe as magic began to fill the room. The orb in the distance began to glow bright as it lured the child. Powerful magic began pouring out of the orb. But little did anyone know these moments would change history forever. The boy's eyes locked onto the spectacle. Magic swooshes around him as if sizing the boy up. But then, almost like instinct, the boy and the magic began reaching towards each other. Electric began to form as the two attempt to make contact. But in an instant, the magic began to flood the boy's vessel. As all the magic in the room dissipates into the boy, his scream from the pain would then reverberate throughout the cave. Armiel shot awake hearing the young boy scream. As realization finally hit,
the kid!
Armiel noticed the boy was gone and broke off into a sprint towards the back of the cave. Further into the cave, Armiel finds the boy unharmed and fast asleep, with no trace of danger around, and is heavily relieved.
What the? He seems to be okay, and nothing happened. He must be a sleepwalker or something.
Armiel grabbed his face in frustration as he speaks to himself.
To think a day ago I had a duty to my king and my people, until it began conflicting with my own morality, always making me question if I was still on the righteous path. But here I am again, questioning if this was the right choice. What have I gotten myself into?
Armiel awoke to the young boy standing near the entrance, nude. The young boy's stomach growled as Armiel begins to speak.
Make yourself decent. Where's the cloak you had on? You must be hungry. I'm a bit famished myself. Let's go search for something to eat.
And thus, Armiel grabbed fruits and herbs with the young boy, also getting a lay of the land and its resources.
We've gathered some fruits, herbs. That should settle us until...
But before Armiel finished his sentence, his keen senses noticed a strange sound. He looked around in confusion. Erupting from the silence, breaking every tree in his path, the giant hog-like creature roars a great roar as it prepares to attack. Armiel held his arm out in front of the boy to protect him as he prepares to use his last bit of magic to fight the enemy.
Get back, child! With my magic as low as it is, I don't know how I'm going to get us out of this.
Armiel looks down after feeling a tremendous gust of wind moving underneath him.
Huh?
But before he's able to realize what's going on, the giant beast was being put head first into the dirt. Dust, dirt, and debris flew everywhere. The boy, still hungry, attempts to feed on the creature whilst Armiel is still in shock of the situation, begins thinking to himself.
He took it down with a single blow. Evanora was right about his power. If left unchecked, he'll destroy everything. No, I won't let fear consume my resolve. I'm going to raise him correctly and give him the training required to control this overwhelming power for good. But for the time being, I should seal some of it so he doesn't make any mistakes until he's truly ready. Kid, we still have to cook that.
Armiel harvested everything he could from the beast, and then the two set up camp. After finally being able to cut the beast's thick hide, Armiel and the boy eat.
Day 1 of starting my journal. I'm writing this to keep track of the things me and Kairos encounter along our travels through this magically abundant land. I decided to give him the name Kairos Morinova and adopt him as my own son. After seeing what he is capable of, I must create a seal that will limit his power, just so he doesn't kill himself or me in the process of teaching him control. I'll teach him all I know for the better of the world, unlike the king who only wants to seize it. My first thoughts were finding a way off this vast land and back to the normal world, but thinking back on it, we actually don't have a place to go. So for now, me and Kairos will make this our home. As time goes on, we'll learn to survive. As we uncover this uncharted land, when the future comes, we will be ready.
But as the chapter comes to a close, another shall begin. Stay tuned for the next chapter of King of Realms.
You tell them how I came from the stars. The blood in me will probably cause a war. I'm trying to be the best in all things. You can feel it in my core. We give it all, and yet they still wanting more. Breathe. I will never back down, never gave up. Times get rough. You gon' see we got them high beams in us. Breathe. Magic in the air, never disappear. The family, all that mattered when the vision wasn't clear. Breathe. Through my primal spirit, we've been hollering at the moons. I know you hear it. Go through it. It's all worth it when the fear lifts. We want to be the Vic in every battle. The path will rattle. My only question is the pain worth the castle. You decide. Cause right now it's only you and I. When the storm comes, it overwhelms. Just promise you gon' keep all of your energies and maintain the synergy. Eventually, you'll be King of Realms. Breathe.